If you say
Live.
onomatopoeia,
Onomatopoeia!
your character will die. All right. Now
So Chain's gonna die today.
all
But the
right.
Whistler already left. I'm safe. It's okay.
He
left.
can come back.
Nah, that's
Oh.
not how this works.
Also, you still gotta walk into a temple full of paladins of Kavara.
All right.
They
So does
promised me
Chain, to be
safe
fair.
passage.
So, all right. Back in the Stained Glass Lands, the party entered the city of Laguz, the last city on the stepping stone path towards Estelheim, where the Watchers of a New Dawn and answers were promised as the predicament they find themselves in. Along the way, you met 4 individuals. Oh my god. A snake and 3 paladins. Apologies if I congested still. But after meandering about through the city, spending some time in the Pompey Wine Tavern, talking to Mauve, speaking with some of the paladins in the Sacrosanct Church, in the different quarters of this city, Chain finally broke down and admitted to Leora that he thought he got himself into a situation that he didn't really know how to get himself out of, and in that consequence, you guys clashed swords with a high priest of Beldain who wielded a blade of disaster, a sort of thin tear in the plains that disintegrates all that touches. And after summoning some paladins in the Meadowlands quarter to square off against him, there was an agreement was reached in order to preserve Leora's life. The priest known as the Whistler simply walked away. Still launching taunts towards Chain, but that's just the nature of the worshippers of Beldain. Along your way to the other quarter of the city, you find yourselves in the aftermath of the conflict. What would you like to do?
We're rushing. We got no
You're
time
rushing.
to
Okay.
wait. I
So just also to recap, so Leora got healed up a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
15.
I still have a hole in me.
You do. It's very thin, so excruciatingly painful since it goes from about your midsection to your left shoulder blade, just a pinhole through your body, but you're alive. The bleeding's mostly stopped. Not quite, but mostly.
At least I'm not coughing up dust.
It's about 6 in the afternoon, and the sun is starting to set. The Meadowlands quarter goes by in a rush. You can see the lush fields of flowers and trees and homes built into the hills and rolling landscape of it whiz by as you cross the border to the Sunbringers quarter.
kick an
Even at
apple
this
as I
time,
go by.
sorry,
I kick an apple as I go by.
kick an apple as you go by.
At Lorenz.
Roll me a dexterity check.
5.
5. Lorenz, an apple kicked by Reed whizzes by you. Doesn't hit you, but I could see Reed still snarling at you.
Lorenz rolls his eyes at Reed and continues on his way.
The rolling hills melds into strict orderly city streets. It still seem quite illuminated by burning braziers. The Aircocker here don't keep lanterns, they keep open flames. And you can see that as a consequence, most of their buildings are built of stone, rather than wood or anything flammable. You can see a couple give you a mix of glances as you sort of careen your way down city streets, a little open plaza where there's some market wares, on your way to this domed church. Some with a bit of hostility considering the composition of the party, especially directed at you, Reed, but others with a little bit of concern. None directly reach out to help, until you find yourselves at the marble staircases leading up to the pillared courtyard of this church. It's easy enough to sort of barge your way in, and you can see immediately the individual who was there when you entered the first time an hour or so ago look up, snap her book shut, and stand straight. You can see her place one hand to her side where there seems to be a sword, and she calmly says, looking mostly at, unfortunately, he's not quite here, but Fenton, and says, "Is this the one you refer to?" And I'm assuming some exchange is had, but she's then going to turn towards Chain and the injured of the party and said, "The rules of the church are simple. Should you wish to take up residence here, then you must admit to wrongdoing of the past, or sincerely promise to change in the future. You have a means of ensuring the validity of your words, so do not think of lying. One by one, go. I don't care who you are, how injured you are."
I guess Chain would go first.
You can go step forward first.
Um,
Don't be shy.
I acted impulsively on negative emotions and prayed to a deity I shouldn't have, and people here almost died because of it.
And do you regret it?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
You know that the first indication of a Kenku is cowardice, right?
Unfortunately.
It takes an incredible amount of strength to face one's past wrongdoings, which is why I find the majority of Kenku stumble on the way to becoming a better person. You'll have a room here. Good job. Next.
Question for you, Phil.
Yes.
Is this a well-kept place?
Oh yes.
Fuck.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck. It's okay, I'm really good at these.
The circumstances are quite acting as a counterbalance to your initial impulse. You know that this is not a place where you should let your instinct roam free, and it's easy enough to contain them even though the floors are meticulously polished and the sort of marble, gray speckled stone, cleaned, everything pristine, white, golden, lit with flames. But you calm yourself after a few breaths and you're able to maintain yourself.
It's time for the blindfold, I think. It'll take one of his scraps of cloth and
You know.
tie it over
you're
his
next.
eyes. What do I regret?
Yes. If you're capable of it.
I regret being kept in the mud. I regret being a knoll among knolls. I regret I regret the images in my mind of attacking you, them. But tell me, is there actually a way to change that?
How sincere are you being, Reed?
sincere and snarky.
If you're asking me as an individual, then it'll be a different answer than that of a paladin. I find, strangely enough. As a paladin, I am of the belief that there is no change. There is simply adjudication for one's past. One cannot forgive the past, but one can move forward. If you were to ask me personally, then some leniency is required to allow that change. But alas, I stand here as an arbiter of Kvara. So which one is it, no?
I change regardless. Tear out the old.
Then
grow
ensure you
something
change for the better.
new.
Go on, you can come. Try not to track mud on the floor.
I will probably track mud on the floor.
See her huff and roll her eyes and move on next.
I guess Foshkra will limp forward, hand held over the fresh wound in his side.
And you?
I do not think I regret anything I have done. But you said I can say to change. I already have started down this path. A different way. For me and my people.
Right. And what path are you headed towards, you and your people?
One I hope to be better. To
For
be
whom?
I do not know. Truly. I hope it will be better for my people. Obviously. I hope it will be better for those like the ones I travel with.
Do you intend to do so at the expense of others?
If others try to hurt those I have said to protect, there is no question.
There is honor in your words, Ignan, but not virtue. I hesitate to permit you within this temple.
I do not know much about paladins. But do they also not swear to protect? And do they not also kill those who threaten?
And a hound dog who indiscriminately defends those who do not deserve it must also be stricken down. I do not have sympathy for that hound dog. Well, I do, but its master is the one that put it in its position. If you understand what I am implying, I advise that you consider what you fight for. But I can sense that somewhere in your heart you are attempting to do the right thing. I'll permit you an exception. Normally I would not permit you entry within this location, but if you promise to act as the guardian to the party members you care about who deserve it, then I see no reason why I cannot allow you in.
That is all I try to do.
Who's next? Glances towards the two Volpanels.
You said that I had to tell you something I regret or some way I'd like to change.
Yes.
I. Hmm. I regret never telling my friend the truth about who I was.
There are many interpretations for that. Is your friend still living?
He is.
Then you have my condolences and hope that you accomplish your goals. You can stay tonight.
Thank you.
I'm assuming there's a conversation between her and Fenton, and we can address that when he is able to speak.
We will get his regret. And about an hour and a half of chatting later, we'll move on to Lorenz.
She glances towards Lorenz. And you?
I suppose the one thing that I regret is I let the one I love die in front of me, and I was too much of a coward to do anything.
Are you taking any motions to avenge them?
Yes.
Ensure that you do not blind yourself to paths of destruction in order to accomplish it. But you can stay the night.
Thank you.
Lastly, do any of you intend to swear oaths to Marin?
I do not.
We're just passing through.
There are others who stay here who wish to swear oath.
Yes.
Can we attend?
You can watch. You will not be permitted inside the church where oaths are being sworn. It is a one-by-one type of situation to speak with the current Lord of Paladins, but I can certainly guide you to the processions. I'm Paladin Shiligan if you have questions. Each
Please.
quarter points, yep.
Can you spell that?
First, Chris says, "Here, write it down for me," and presents a stone slab.
Each quarter appoints an individual who is familiar with the process of knighting to guide the individual petitioners to Marin's footsteps. But in either case, we have a healing fountain within, should you wish to make further reparations or tend to some wounds. I advise you not to fight. It will not go over well in the House Okvara. Until then, may your flames be bright. Do not forget the little oaths you have sworn in front of me today.
Will the
Goodbye.
fountain get rid of Beldane's presence?
Yes. We will ensure that you come to no harm. We are mortal enemies after all. This is the safest place in town you may be.
but the fountain will get rid of her presence from me, is what I'm asking.
Not permanently, only you can do that. Elaine feeds off hate. If you forget the hate, she has no purchase over you.
Even if I've already welcomed her in?
You've developed some hate of your own accord. It is a matter of perspective. To hate something is a flaw. It is an easy way out of a solution. It is a compromise. Think on what you truly hate. It is often not what you initially think. That is my advice.
Chaden's sort of biting his tongue on things that he would actually want to say, but he just nods his head.
I'm not going to say it is easy. It is difficult. But that is what separates a Kenku who worships Beltane and a Kenku who does not. The ones who do have taken the easy way out. And we do not, generally, as Arakokra, hate those who try to do better. We understand the predicament you are in because of your race. But no matter the hardships one experiences, it does not excuse the type of actions that Beltane gets up to. We will help in what ways we can, but you must help yourself. It is not our responsibility. But we will do what we can. And keep in mind that there are more dogmatic paladins than I in Kvara's clergy. But do not mistake the harshness of some paladins as malice, regardless of what you think. Lastly, the group of you mentioned that you were friends, or at least cordially allied with this Black Dragonborn Agarax, right?
Yes.
In the Leonin Muff.
Yes. They wish to speak to you. We'll be performing an exorcism on Agarax tonight. If you wish to be present.
Did they wish to speak to us before or after that happened?
Before. Marv insisted Agarax is quiet. Understandably so, given his condition. But I must man my post.
Well, maybe we find them before this exorcism.
We do not have a tavern, we have a healing fountain and surrounding environments. Meditation rooms. A plaza, a place of worship for Kvara, but it is a glorified balcony, should you wish to enjoy the evening. She's likely to be there.
And I believe, unless anyone else says anything to say to them, Foshker is going to try to make his way to wherever this balcony area is.
Nothing constructive to say. Stumble after the sound of Fushkra's claws on the ground.
For God's
Oh right,
sake,
he's blindfolded.
someone get
Yeah,
the
so I don't
now.
fucking kill Era.
Appreciated.
Excuse me, I am distracted because I have a hole in my side.
That's fine. That's just another voice.
Chain will grab Reed's arm and lead him.
She gives a deep sigh at the kind of trail that's left behind Reed.
not making any comment about him being blown halfway gone.
She doesn't care.
That's a problem for the paladins, where Smite Undead deals an extra d8 damage.
Isn't she?
Yes.
But she just said she's a paladin.
She is a paladin. There's a healing fountain. What do you want her to do? Spend resources on you?
No, I'm just saying, like, Reed is literally sitting there with a lung hanging out of his body.
Hey, I put that back.
I put that back.
This one's a keepsake.
So they get a good look at, like, all the mushrooms and moss and growth that makes up Reed.
He's just a low guy.
Unless he's wrapped himself up on the way.
That is a good question, Reed. To what extent have you at all, if you have, disguised the fact that you are questionably living?
Very little.
Very little.
Like,
It's
especially
your
after
view,
the fight,
very-
it's kind of easy to tell. Like, I am.
No.
There
what
is
does he
living stuff on me, but the null part is not living.
mean? No. Come here for a second.
Forgive me, I cannot see. Turn around and stumble.
Shane will lead him over to her.
Could see her mutter something. A circular beam of radiance sort of surrounds her as she lifts her eyes to the sky, muttering something under her breath in avian. She's using her divine sense feature. And she settles back on Reed with a quizzical look. If I were a different paladin, I would strike you down where you stand.
That has happened before.
You are an undead. Not fully, but close to it. Do you hail from the basin?
I do.
Normally, if there's an undead creature, our senses will be tinged with this deep, black hatred for you, instinctively driven by righteous indignation. Creatures of foul intent radiate a certain aura.
My.
Fiends red, undead black. Yours is green.
Because Talani is green. Should be green.
Yes.
Talani is the life left in me. You,
Do you know? Just as Shiab Marin is himself an undead, he has employed many death knights into his servitude. We do not strike them down. If any of the paladins inside give you trouble, tell them that I have given you permission to be here, and that they can take up the challenges with me.
Can you just say that in like a direct sentence and I can just mimic it?
Right, you are a Kenku. Should any paladin under the Church of Absolution in the city of Laguz have issues with the presence of the snow? What is your name now?
Reed.
Snow who declares himself as Reed, and they shall take up issue with me, Paladin Shailigan, and any challenges or difficulties the snow is encountered at your hands will be returned in the form of a duel.
Reed's gonna have a nice big grin.
Do not abuse that privilege. I know he knows.
Luckily,
Happy to
he's not the
prove you
one
wrong.
who can mimic.
Abuse is an abused word.
I can't make that joke. Then sure you have a quiet night. Goodbye.
It's our full intentions to.
She gives
Too
you
much
a very
excitement.
critical glare, but returns to her position behind the front desk. Inside is a small chamber, kind of hotel-like maze of rooms that surrounds a central courtyard. You can see trees, you can see grass, and a central fountain that depicts a stone carving of a large Aarakocra, four-armed, reaching towards the sky and holding a brazier that is lit with a brilliant torch-like flame out into the open sky. The only individual you can see inside would be Mauve, kind of sitting on the stonework, sharpening a sword. One of two that she wields. There are individual rooms, kind of like in a U shape. It's a rather small inn-like, church-like hybrid. You could see most of the places to worship Kvar are in the actual front, where the meeting room was. But it's a relatively small establishment, regardless. Seems that there are some other rooms down below. You can see some spiraling staircases leading both up and down to different layers of this 4 or 5 story building, but what do you do?
I'll say Foshker would walk out and... Hello, Muff.
Oh, you're. She stands and gives a crooked smile. Knew you'd make it. Well, what the hell happened to you?
I believe we met the one who made the threat to Agalax.
Ah. Did you send him packing? Well, you're still here, so I hope you did.
Unfortunately, he still lives.
Yeah, assholes tend to do that. Well, at least there are more of us now. Who was he?
He can go.
Kind of spits over her shoulder. Oh, no offense, Chain. Instinct.
Yeah, this one deserves it.
Fair enough. Look,
Shane is like dumping Reed into the fountain.
Okay, I'm struggling now.
dissolves.
No! My weakness, I'm melting!
This is a. You took two. You take 2 points of radiant damage, as this is a holy fountain and is a healing fountain, and healing when applied on undead creatures harms.
But what about all the living parts of me?
Well, there aren't that many left.
Oh no! I'm gonna start struggling.
Seeing that it's
Foshker
not helping him, Shane will try to pull him back out.
I was gonna say Foshker sighs, limps over, grabs Reed, and yanks him out with Chain.
Burns. Don't need water. I need. Find me a spot in the middle of something.
You're in the middle of the floor.
I sit down. And I will shake like a dog.
Holy water gets everywhere.
Sizzle, sizzle.
Not on anybody else beyond Reed, but look, Mob, speak up. They have something like an exorcist chamber, a fucking prison down there. I don't know. Agrax is in there. They're not letting him talk to people. Not me, at least. So
The paladin at the front said that we were invited to watch.
yeah. I did speak to him briefly as he was being transported, but seems pretty shaken up.
He is safe.
Safe, using goddamn chains. They're treating him like a monster. Yes, he is, but, well, he's my monster. You saw what he did back when we were fighting those two, right?
I felt it, yes.
Yeah, he does that inadvertently. It just happens occasionally when he gets mad, so don't make him mad. I just worry he's also gotten himself in some bad situation. Right? We're just trying to help, so.
I feel that.
He said he regrets starting the argument amongst our little group. So, look, I intend to stay here, but if I can ask any of you a favor and get Sting to sober up and come back here and that asshole Snake to show up, that'd be much in your favor. I think it would do him good with whatever he's going through. Might be a challenge, but that's what it is.
I don't know if it's safe for any of us to leave at the moment.
Hmm?
Well, like
Guess you're
Foster
right.
said, that Kenku priest is still out there, and
So what are you gonna do? Stay the rest of your life?
no, but he's after me, and when we were fighting him, instead of coming after me, he was going after those around me. So I guess if anybody would be safe, it would be me, but I don't.
Let us rest a moment. Some are still bleeding.
Yeah. That's what the fountain's for.
I don't think so.
Well, not for you, but
This must be a disgustingly clean place.
yeah. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Reed will unsling his pack and start taking out stuff, and is going to try to start a fire on the floor for tea.
Oh, okay. You can
Shane
definitely.
tries to stop him.
He is blind still, so he's just like in a feeling for things where he put him down.
Shane's just gonna like use his talons to like keep moving things around. Just
Reed,
grabbing
somehow,
things.
whatever you're placing down doesn't seem to be in the same place when you grab it.
Shane's like
I'll
putting it. he's
grab
like
my
putting it, like,
staff.
right outside of arm's reach.
I'm gonna grab my staff with both hands. I'm just gonna take a wide swing.
Roll me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Can I just have Foshker catch the staff in mid swing?
10.
Just 10 into your armor class chain.
No.
And it whips by you, dodge back, and yeah, Foshka, it's easy enough to catch it from the blind and flailing Reed.
Reed.
Stop moving my things.
Stop trying to start a fire in a building.
I need tea.
Then have Foskra warm it up for you.
I am not a kettle.
We were asked not to cause trouble. And I feel like starting a fire inside would be causing some trouble.
There's so many definitions of trouble.
One of them is greed. Anyway, I let go of the staff and turn back to Mauve. Before we entered, Sting asked me to join him in the Colosseum here.
Yeah,
He wished to duel.
he's always been a damn good duelist. If there's an arena here, he's probably in it. Wasting his life away.
I look down at the bloody, dry blood in the hole in my side, and
Unfortunately, I do not think I can accept his offer this day.
Just step
Oh,
in the
sure.
damn fountain.
I was about to say the same thing. Just so Chinese kind of like in unison. Mom goes, Foskra, step in the fountain.
that's not only that. I'm out of rage. I need a long rest.
Perhaps
Step in the fucking fountain and heal, for God's sake. Instead of staying there with a hole in your chest and going, well, there's a hole in my chest.
Yeah, well,
Heal yourself.
he's a stubborn bastard. What can I say? But Bushker growls, just looks at the fountain and looks at this still dripping wet reed.
slightly sizzling. The fountain is now reed tea.
And I guess Fushker will tentatively and slowly step into the fountain, kind of like glaring at the water. And then also glaring up at the statue.
Your wounds begin to regenerate and close at a quite rapid pace. Within a minute or so, your wounds are almost healed. You heal 1d4 hit points per round you're in it. It's easy enough to get to full quite quickly.
Okay.
Your wounds seal up, the water kind of splashes over them, working its way inside.
It's a very
Going
big
to,
healing potion.
Turn to Leora and say, you should get into.
Leora would nod and step towards the fountain, getting in the water and just letting it do its thing.
So what's the scar look like?
Just externally, it seems like a small blemish on your scales. On either end, but you know how deep it runs.
Say as soon as he feels the wound fully close and back to, well, as hale as he possibly can, despite being body tired, Fosher's gonna quickly step out.
I feel like after every fight, commissioning art of Foshka gets just a little bit more expensive.
What was that? Oh. Sorry, I just caught it. It just caught up. Yeah.
Lizard brain.
I'm gonna have freaking Zanval level of detail having to be put on here soon. For every scar you put on me, I'll pay you extra.
2% tip per ring, but
Is
what's the
there
plan?
a place here where I
Yeah,
might
we're good.
acquire tea?
It's probably a store. I know there's an old place on the other side of town, but don't know if you want to go there.
I don't want to move.
I'm so sorry.
Mom, did they say when they were doing the exorcism?
Midnight.
How long is it till then?
About 6 hours.
That is not enough time for a long rest and then finding people.
But it's enough time for a short rest.
Yeah, but that doesn't give me any resources back. That just heals me.
Would Shane have a good idea on if he would be safe going out alone, considering that the Whistler only was targeting literally everybody but him?
That's up to you. You can roll in. You would have had to roll an insight check at the moment, but I'm not quite sure at this time.
Do any of our magic users have message?
The message has to be within range.
Fenton has sending. I'm not sure if he has spell slots.
No, because he used his last sending earlier today.
Yeah, to talk to
Oh.
Rook.
You're almost
Morning
Vesselheim,
sending.
guys. Almost.
Almost.
there.
Almost there.
Look, I don't think the Whistler's going to touch me. I can go try and get Stingin the snake.
If you leave, Jane, I am coming with you.
No, you're not.
Try and stop me. We can go. We can try and find Sting and the snake. For Mav. For Agrax.
The Whistler won't attack me. We don't know if he'll come back and attack you.
Even when there are so many paladins. Probably looking for him.
Didn't seem to stop him the first time.
He can still see what you see, yes?
Can only assume
can-
so.
Hear me say I hope he comes back.
Don't taunt him, Reed.
Short rest?
Sure thing, if you'd like.
Thank you.
I guess while the others are having their short rest, I don't know, Foshker will just be hanging out.
Would the psychic whispers still be working, Shane, from earlier?
It would be up for 3 hours, so yes.
Then Leora would hear Foshkra and Shane go back and forth before stepping out of the fountain and going up to Shane and saying, if you do decide to go, remember that you can contact us. You can contact me at least. And I'll be there. Don't let him take advantage of you if you do find him.
I don't plan on finding him.
Fair, if he finds you, I guess. But if you need me, I'll be there.
I guess while the others are doing a short rest, since Chain's already at max HP, he'll try and go out to find Sting in the snake.
Foshker's gonna follow.
Chain is going to try and sneak past Foshker or like somehow lose him.
I can sprint at 100 feet per second.
Chain, you just made it to the. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check if you'd like. If you'd really would like. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Foshka. Got his ass.
Get fucked! Last Sonic Dice of the day!
Oh, you all spit. Oh my god, Chain.
Seriously?
Yes.
Seriously?
Foster, you
Listen,
swear you heard something, but Chain slips away unnoticed.
For how long is he unnoticed? Is the question.
There are many ways to answer that question.
I'm gonna prerequisite this that Foshra is keeping an eye out for Chain specifically at the moment.
I feel like the chain is incredibly obvious until you're looking for him.
Yes, very much so.
Basically.
But
So
as
it's
if, someone snaps their fingers, Foshgray lose sight of Chain. He disappeared when you were looking away one way or another, and he seems gone. But you were watching him, and now you know very quickly that he is intentionally trying to avoid being seen.
Well, as soon as I can't see Chain anymore, I am leaving this place and looking for him.
All right. Out to the streets you go in search of Chain. You know, okay, so you two are going out. Chain, you're off to find Sting and Selima. Foshra, you're a couple seconds later also dashing out, trying to look for Chain. What are the other four of you doing?
Quiet. They perhaps leaving me behind.
I will say before, as Foshker goes to run, he'll head out. He'll be like, "Chain is gone," and then run off.
For the record, Chain, I can't believe you.
That.
Hey!
Hey, our birdie has returned from
Unacceptable.
war.
What?
Look, it's not like Chain suddenly becomes not Chain just because he made
The
one good
entire
decision.
party almost died getting you here, and then you leave without telling anyone.
Well, that's because Foshka said that he was going to follow me if I left, and
What?
they all already almost died for me once today. The Whistler
Yeah, what's
isn't
another
attacking
one?
Me, he's attacking them.
To get
Yeah.
at you. All right. Well, we'll see how this transpires.
And now Foshker's wandering around this city that he's never been to, trying to find his lost little blackbird.
All right.
Oh, little
Fenton, what are you up to?
bird. Oh, little
Well,
bird.
goodness, if I know Chain is gone, I am reprimanding him through psychic whispers.
That connection is no longer active with you guys. It's active. Oh no, was
No.
it?
It's still active with
Wait.
me, Leora, and
I
Fenton.
forget. Was it?
Yeah.
It was active.
Okay,
again,
okay.
yeah.
I forgot that I.
At first it was just
kept-
me, but then you re-rolled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kept fucking reinstating it.
Yeah.
So there is an active channel between you, Fenton, and Foshgra. Pardon me, you, Fenton, and Leora.
Well, it is on me, but Foshker's
Oh,
still
who's
not
up?
used to it. Yeah, he put it
Okay.
on. Yeah, I think he put it on me, Fenton, and Leora.
Correct, yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So it's just Foshker's just not thinking about it or remembering it.
It's Foshgra attempting to use the whispers like a boomer, attempting to use a phone.
He is the oldest in the party.
What are you communicating with, if you're communicating at all?
Am I aware Chain has left at this point?
I announced it as I ran off to go find him.
Chain, you left the temple?
I'm getting stinging the snake for Agarax.
Chain, I think your safety is a little more important than that right now. We can just go get them.
The Whistler isn't attacking me; he's attacking you guys.
He's
For some reason, he wants me. He's not going to kill me.
And if we let him have you, then what was any of today for? Chain, we are in this temple for you.
And I'll come back to the temple.
No, if the Whistler is a real threat, then you will not. He is as dangerous to you as the rest of us, Chain. Maybe more so.
Remind me, psychic whispers it can only we can only talk directly to Chain, not to each other. So I'm not
No,
hearing any of
it's-
this.
No.
No, you can hear everything. I'm pretty sure, right?
I
Like it's
see.
a giant. Hold
It's
on,
a
let me-
conference call.
Let me.
That would make me go absolutely insane.
So while all this is happening, and people are one by one leaving, oh my god, text.
That's a lot of. Oh my god.
Reed is going to stand up. Say, Piers, I am being left behind. I'm going to turn a random direction and start walking forward.
Roll me a 1d8.
So it says you could speak telepathically with you, and you can speak telepathically with them.
You walk a
So
good
chain has to be the
amount-
bridge between other people's conversations.
That's the way I'm reading that too. So if Fenton wants to pass a message to me, Chain has to actually say it or relay it.
Chain has to relay, yeah.
I just remember that, fellow, and I'd asked you before, like if I can talk to like one person or another, if I have like it active on multiple people. That you said that whatever I say gets broadcast out to everybody that I have it set up with.
Oh, then I think I miscommunicated it with a telepathic bond. No, this is individual communication is permitted. I am sorry.
So there's nothing stopping you from
Well,
simultaneously
then I would not
talking.
have wasted so many uses of this recasting it.
Oh, good point.
Sorry about that. What? Well,
No for the future.
all right. Reed, you walk a good amount east before smacking the snout first right into a wall.
Kick it. And then I'll walk alongside it.
The wall does not give. Are you going left or right?
I'll go left.
The left. You.
Lawrence, get the knoll.
This is breaching containment.
Reed, come here.
I'm sorry, was that in character?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay, I was about to roll initiative.
Here, no.
Just do what your brother did in the cave to Wolfreed.
No, no.
Your palms scratch across the stonework, and eventually you, not snout first, but hand hits another wall and sort of corner in one of the U-shaped portions of this hotel-like church. Eventually you can probably make it out of this little courtyard area.
Yes, please.
At some point you are able to pass through one of the central hallways and end up inside the marble-floored exit room / entry room.
Once I realize where I am by the echo, I will call out, "The others have left."
Yes, and what is it that you're trying to do?
Find friends of Marv.
Don't let me keep you. Do you need help finding the door?
No, I will find it.
Are you sure about that?
I'll walk straight forward.
Roll me percentile dice.
Has Leora and Lorenz left as well?
It's up to them.
Loren's
Yeah.
still around.
Oh,
I will say
Isn't it-
there is more I want to say to Fenton before, like,
Sure.
Shane will get like too far away.
We'll see if Reed makes it out. Don't roll low. Oh. You stumble forward, claws scratching across the marble. Then your hips connect with the edge of a desk, and you accidentally fold at the waist and fall right on the desk in front of this individual. You can hear her kind of take a sharp inward gasp and stand. Right, you will be led towards the door. She kind of walks around the desk, really roughly grabs you by the wrist, and with a surprising amount of force begins dragging you out the door. Doesn't quite throw you down the marble staircase, but if you accidentally stumble along the way, it's no concern to her.
As soon as I'm outside, the blindfold is being torn off, and I will act as if I am trying to breathe after suffocating.
She slams the door shut behind you.
So much for the hospitality of Kavara.
Well, he's a knoll.
So it's okay to be racist.
Yeah.
The gnolls, yeah.
It's not racism if it's targeting gnolls.
I thought that was Kenku.
Or Kanku. Or lizard folk.
Yeah.
It's not racism if it's directed towards one of the not preferred races.
And I will start meandering towards the knoll section.
All right.
I will say before that all gets too far, I did want to continue that conversation with Fenton.
Go for it.
Look, Fenton, if you really think it's this bad of an idea, then I'll come back. I owe at least that much to all of you. But no matter what I did, he wouldn't attack me. I don't think he's going to come after me.
Shane, I don't think he's going to attack you, but to try and, I don't know, do whatever he was attempting to do before. But can we at least come to you? I don't disagree that it would be good to find the storyteller and Sting, but I think we could find them much quicker together.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that if you guys come with me, we don't know if those will come back for all of you to try and get at me. If you guys aren't with me and are in the church, then he has nothing to get at me with.
Then is your plan to what? Tomorrow, Shane, we continue towards Estelheim. The priest said it right. We cannot stay in the temple. Mav. In any case, we will leave again. We cannot just hide forever.
I know that, but look at the condition you're all in.
I feel all right.
And how's your magic reserves?
Well, they're low, Shane, but he left us before, did he not? Are his reserves any better? Is his health any better in the same amount of time?
I don't know, but half of you already almost died for me once today.
From your perspective, Shane, why do you wish to fulfill Mav's request?
So I can try and do something good for once, I guess. For someone other than myself.
I see. That is well. I sincerely fear you alone is not the right call. Not now.
Can. All right, look. I'll come back and maybe us and Mav can speak and see if they can't push the exorcism off until like tomorrow morning or something. I don't.
It's worth a try. Maybe tell Fushka too. He left, and Reed is actually gone now as well.
Well, I don't have a connection with Reed, so that is unfortunate. Chain will speak to Foskra and say, "I'm coming back. Just go back to the church."
Where are you?
Does Chain see Foskra? Like on his way back?
I'd say it's not too difficult to spot an Ignan in a town of Arakakra. He's taller than them, mostly. You didn't pick up the phone when I called. You're grounded.
Kavara to
Chain
Craven.
being like the same size as
Yeah.
all the Aircocker definitely doesn't help, so he'll I guess he'll just take off his glove and the bandages from his hand and stick his hand up so Foskra can see the bright blue markings in the sea of Arakakra.
As soon as Foshker sees Chain's hand up above the crowd, he just like plows through them towards him.
It's easy enough to find him eventually.
As he gets up to Chain, Foshker just looks down at him and is like,
What do you think you are doing?
Like I was just saying to Fenton, trying to do something good for someone other than myself for once. Trying to act with something other than hatred and jealousy and spite. I don't know.
I meant, what do you think you are doing? Sneaking away.
Foskar, how many times have you almost died today?
That does not matter.
It does. And one of them was because of me.
Jane, it does not matter. Because that was my choice. I did not back down. I did not stop. I take the wounds. I get the scars. For my choice. If you feel any responsibility towards it, then I will say you should not. Other
Well,
than
I do.
trying to run away and leave me behind. When I said I would follow.
Yeah, because it was a stupid decision.
But it was mine. As you say, you do not know if this man is still in the city. And you sneak away by yourself.
Because he won't kill me.
But he can still take you, Jane. And I will give up my life if I have to stop it.
You shouldn't.
It is who I am, Jane. I am Axik. That is my family. That is the name of my blood. I was born to be a protector of my people. And I have chosen to extend that onto you as well. And what you did today only solidified that. As I said before, you are brave, and you prove it. Even now, when you try to sneak away, to do something selfless. But no, I will always try to find you if you need protection. If I think there is a threat. For I am Voshkra. I am Axik. And you may know my name as Gritsash. You have proven that you earned that from me. But no. You will not escape when you need me. Now, if you wish to find Sting in the snake, then we should get going.
No, we're going back to the church. We're gonna see if we can't get them to delay the exorcism until tomorrow morning.
If you believe it is possible. But just talking to the one at the door, they seem rather stubborn.
Well, Fenton's good at talking.
Sometimes.
True.
Other times he needs to be hit upside the head.
Either way, everybody seems so against me going out right now, so that's what we're trying.
Out by yourself,
need-
Jane. Out by yourself.
We need to try and find Reed on our way back. He apparently left too.
His will be an easy trail to follow. Just ask those around if they have seen a gnoll.
And with that, Chain's gonna start heading back towards the church, keeping an eye out for Knoll activities.
No activities.
Null activities. Are you intentionally trying to search for Reed, or just keeping an eye out?
I would say intentionally searching while on the way back.
On the way back. All right.
Same.
Reed, are you attempting to evade notice?
No. Why should I?
If it was easy to find Foshka in a crowd, it's easy to find Reed in a crowd, particularly because there are a lot of paladins, Aarakocra, that are watching, following him. A little nervous, but definitely hostile indirectly towards him. Definitely following him to see where he's going, what he's doing in this place. From a distance. Some in the sky.
When Chain sees Reed, he's gonna go, Reed, come on, we're going back to the church.
That was fast. Will you tell these birds that I am Toka no?
That you are a fool. That is obvious.
I do not think that means what you think it means.
It is my language, Reed.
And I said the words.
Fosher's just gonna sigh and turn towards the Aarakocra following Reed.
The Knoll wishes you to know
Trains-
that he is a fool.
There's a clamor of agreement behind them.
Chain is going to, even though like it doesn't really, I don't think it really applies outside of the temple, but he's going to relay the paladin's message, and then immediately afterwards say that they're going back to the temple.
They seem to stand down after that and give nods of respect. To you, not to Reed.
I
Not
could
respect
have
to a Keiku.
so many interesting conversations here.
But we're not. Come on.
Please tell me you did not talk to anyone on the way.
I did not have time. You both walk too fast.
I am not carrying you if you fall behind.
Does not dislike breed interesting dialectic.
Why are you trying to use big words all of a sudden?
Because they're mine, and I said them.
He wants to try to cover up the fact that he called himself a fool.
I call myself what I please.
And you call yourself Toka.
Yes. That is something I will change. I am better than a word.
You cannot change the definition of a word that is older
I
than the...
already have. Read.
Yes, you have, sweetie. Come on.
Does Shane actually call him sweetie?
Yes.
I give Chain a... No, I don't.
I do not think that Reed would be very sweet.
I didn't mean it in the literal sense.
I'm sure there are parts.
I am
Oh
not
my
tasting
God.
you, Reed.
I am going to put the blindfold back on and stumble up the steps.
Chain will grab his arm and lead him again, so he's not running into walls and desks.
Beating
Find a way
against
back,
my
essentially.
skull from the inside. Do not like this place.
You don't like any place, Reed.
I like when we're in a place that has no name.
Then I
Pretend
shall
this
not
place
tell
doesn't
you.
have a name.
Then I shall not tell you the histories of the land and the many names we give each place.
If you want to take away the mystery. Hello, kind bird. I'll say as I'm being dragged through
Back
the
in.
atrium.
Past the lady at the front.
Exasperated about the mud that's still being tracked through.
I just kind of refreshed it.
It's easy enough to find your way to back to the rest of the party. It's about 7, 8 in the night. It's definitely evening, getting dark.
Mhm.
What would
Does
you like to do?
anyone know what they are doing now?
We are going to try and see if we can't. Well, actually, Jane will turn to Mauve. I was going to go try and find Sting and the snake, but my friends said that it might be best not to. And so, do you think there's a chance that we might be able to have them delay the exorcism until the morning when we can go get Sting and the snake as a group?
No, you can try.
I know we can try, but I wanted to ask you, since you are, well, we can't really ask Agarax ourselves right now.
I'll be on your side if you go and ask, but look. She kind of looks a bit embarrassed as it rubs the back of her head. I said some things, some choice words when I was getting into this fucking place. They didn't like me very much, but they saw I was just trying to expedite my reunion with Agarax, and they let me in, but I don't think they're gonna listen to me.
Well, luckily we have an Aarakocra.
Yeah, one that's good at talking too, so up you go.
Sometimes.
Mav, are you unable to retrieve your friends?
I could go, but you said there's some asshole Kenku trying to kill him, so...
Right, that is.
I'm
seems
also not
outside of-
really on much speaking terms with either of them anymore. Arguments and all.
Very well.
I was hoping you'd convince them, but yeah. If it needs to wait until morning, then I guess I can try that.
Right, well.
Look, if it's too much, don't let my group syntax interfere with yours. I know you've got your worries, you've got your problems to deal with. We have ours. But if you're willing to help out, who knows when I can do the same to you.
Why delay?
Why do they?
Why delay? What is the purpose?
Delay the
That's- well,
exorcism?
Yes.
So you all can recover and we can go out as a group to try and find Sting and the snake.
Then perhaps missing this moment will be their regret.
If it's a regret we can help them to not have, then I feel like that's something that we should try and do.
How about Fenton goes and tries to talk and see if the paladins here are willing to delay? Then we can decide after what we do. If not, perhaps we can still try to find those that, when we met, called Agarax's friend.
It is worth a try, and should it not be possible, I could always at least presumably find the Yonti by air to be safer than on the ground. and I think he'll stick out a bit. But let me see what we can do. Is there any paladin presumably in charge here beyond the front desk lady?
There seems to be one at the head of the church. You can see it's sort of old male wandering about. There's a confession booth further inside in more of the church-like area of it. He seems to be in charge of the more temple side of things rather than the inn.
I will approach him.
He seems to be at the moment keeping some braziers from falling by, with his hands placing coals inside their sort of upheld bowl-like edifices where there are flames emerging from them. He is. Let me just pull up his description. You can see his average height, well built for an Aarakocra, still dressed in these sort of white flowing garments. There is soot and ash all over him, particularly around the talons and hands of the arms, on the front of this gown-like garment he wears. His wings are sort of on display, have some piercings in them. Very much a regal-looking figure, moves with authority. He wears spectacles and sort of dilate his eyes a bit more, slightly comedically, but the seriousness and the inquisitiveness of them is commendable. And he glances at you. Finally an Aarakocra arrives to our usual church. What can I help you with?
As I approach him, I would greet him as a brother in Avian and kind of presume that the conversation would carry on in Avian just out of
very much so.
Brotherly respect. Greetings. Yes. We are, my traveling companions and I, hoping to do a favor for one I believe suffering here, not under your arm, but receiving aid. That is the Dragonborn.
The Black Dragonborn, yes.
Correct. He has friends dispersed in the city that we very much think should attend this exorcism of his. However, we may not be able to safely gather them. I don't know, later in the morning, unless you have hands that would be able to assist us in this matter.
Are you aware of what she called us when she entered through our door?
She is a special type. Yes.
Right. Look. This Dragonborn suffers immensely. We wish to absolve him of pain. To do so, we have brought in an Inquisitor, a specialist in these matters. She said she would be here at midnight and did not intend to linger for a while.
I understand. To my later question then, do you happen to have messengers or hands available? A situation in the city has made it rather dangerous for us to go on our own, but we are hoping to get these two individuals here tonight.
We are allowed to send messengers throughout the other wards of the city, but we are not permitted to enter the other quarters.
That could be a problem. One, I believe, is in the Minotaur ward, and the other with the Knolls, I suspect.
What kind of friends do you keep?
Interesting company, as you can see.
Why do you care about this Black Dragonborn? He's not of that kind. We do so out of obligation, not because we like him. What about you?
Truthfully, I do not know him. Very much a stranger, along with the Leonin and the two in the city we seek, but the Kenku that travels with me wishes to do good, to do a favor, and he sees here one that may be rendered.
How much has he lied to you then?
Can't say for sure, but in this very moment, I believe him to be sincere.
Belief.
Would you like him to say it under a zone of truth? That is how confident I am.
He'll change his mind when it suits him. Don't worry about that.
And
The truth of a
what if he
Kenku is
does?
much less than the truth of other races, but
Hmm.
look, I know that your heart is in the right place. I can see that. You're an Aarakocra after all, but we have been doing this for quite a while. You have nothing to fear for this Black Dragonborn. We do not know what malaise has inflicted his soul, but we will purge him of it.
Fine. Do your work then.
What do you know about the Bronze Dragon? The one of anti-magic.
Is he asking about the dragon?
Xanthias, yes.
What do I know about Xanthias?
Roll me a history check. With advantage since you're a keeper. So you can go ahead and roll it again. Close. You know that he's called the Tyrant's Adjudicator? He is the one dragon deity who decided to abscond from magic entirely. In doing so, purging himself or exsanguinating himself of magical dragon's blood and refilling his body with molten bronze. In doing so, giving him measure of anti-magical properties. He is the deity that he stands for the concept of pride. He's very much arrogant, very draconic in that way, and he believes that magic has overstayed its welcome, and it is specifically arcane magic, not divine magic, is a testament to the arrogance of non-dragons. And in doing so, he has quite successfully sort of curtailed some of the most destructive spellcasters out there. His paladins are those who go after arcanists who have used their abilities for evil. More recently, and specifically with the downfall of Malefica, which is one of the four quarters of the Ogre Kingdom before it regained control over itself, in which he is rumored to have died, but most believe he has fled somewhere and resumed being a statue for the current time being.
I will just respond, plenty. What does Xanthias, by all means, dormant dragon, have to do with anything here?
It has to do with who's coming to purge Dagarax of his affliction. It is a sight to see. One of his priests has volunteered. You know that Kvara and Xanthias are on good terms, yes?
Sure.
For good reason. But I won't keep you. If you wish to delay it, speak to her when the time comes. We may not have much luck. She is quite stubborn.
Right. Very well.
Oh. And remember, don't listen to your companions of a more challenged alignment. Keep your own heart on you. Do good in the world.
I turn away, but make sure my dagger of inclination is very visible as I do.
I see. Looks a bit disappointed. Use it wisely.
What a nice old asshole.
Holds his head high and continues his work.
That's what Chain was looking for. That man.
I knew it was coming.
Stereotypes are there for a reason.
Good thing it was in a language that none of us understood.
I understand avian.
Oh. But were you close enough to hear?
Probably not.
There's a conversation between those two, so.
I will return to the party and just. Well, it seems very unlikely that the exorcism will be delayed. In fact, it is an outsider who will be performing it. We can ask her, or we can simply go try and find the other two as quickly as we can and return. I understand your concern, Chain. It is dangerous, but we are healthy. I do not think we will be significantly better prepared in the morning. I hope not to see him again at all. If I'm being honest, I doubt our odds are much better, even if we have full-on spells and the like.
Yes, but I mean, you have that sending spell now, don't you?
I do. No more of it today, as I'm sure you have surmised, but... Chain, I see and I respect the good that you are wishing to do here, and I do not disagree with the decision, but I'll let the choice be yours. We go together now, find the other two, bring them back, or we don't. We can try to talk to this exorcist at midnight, but I sincerely do not believe it will have any effect.
I can't let you guys put yourselves in danger again today. I won't pretend to know anything about your or Lorenz's or Leora's magic or Reed's magic or Foskra's flames. But going off of what I feel just mentally right now with my own abilities, I can't let in good conscience any of you out when you have like no way of defending yourself.
How much, Jane, would you like for Agarex's wishes for his friends to witness what he is about to go through?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be easier if we could talk to Agrax and see what he thinks, but
I
it
did
sounds
not
like that's off the table.
I did not ask about what Agarax was thinking. I asked
Well,
you.
I'm just trying to think for Agarax, okay?
Hmm. Do you want to try to get his allies here tonight?
Not if it means risking any of your lives again.
Then I think that is the decision. And as Reed suggested, if the others regret it later, that is theirs to deal with as well. Mauve clearly understands, or she would be out there trying to fetch them herself. It is a kind gesture, but I do not see it as of the utmost importance.
Then I think I'm going to go rest for now. Watch me if you want or need, but I'll be finding a room.
I think
This
wise.
room sounds boring. Can someone find me something to do?
Would you like to begin studies on your book?
The blindfolded Knoll will turn his head in the direction of your words.
You just said treat in front of a dog.
Also, he's blindfolded. I think that was the point.
Of course, we would have to, upon settling in, remove your blindfold so you can read them.
I would sooner eat my arm.
Oh, sorry about that.
Great.
Trying to-
Well, okay. I kind of think that we should do it anyways.
You understand what I will do. Or maybe you want to find out firsthand.
What rooms are available to us, Phil?
You get a lot of choices, actually. You get a room for yourself, pretty much. It's not very common for there to be many passerbys here. But the entire point of this town is to prepare and guide upcoming paladins for whatever trials they may be coming through. So each of you gets your own in-room. It's small, yes, but you have your own bed.
I
Peace
would
and
like.
quiet.
What a concept. I would like to enter one of these rooms and tear all the sheets off the bed. If there's a desk, I'd like to tip it over. I want to trash a room.
Yes! You are my favorite person today.
Awesome. Yeah, it's easy enough to do, sort of scratching up the sheets, tearing them off, canting everything into a slight tilt, making a mess out of it. And it is perfect, Reed.
Lead Reed inside, yeah, and encourage him to take his blindfold off.
Blink the beady
I get
eyes
that.
open. And I will look like I just found out the party hosted by surprise party. Surprise birthday party. You are serious. You pay attention.
I am trying to, at least.
Good. We will study.
Do you have the book or do I? Doesn't matter.
Oh, what do I have? Push to charm person, torch, rope, bomb, tinderbox. No, I don't have it.
Okay, then I have a what was it? It's just an alchemical book from Mutizen's Lair. I don't know if it was more specific than that.
Open it up and no do any of you are they proficient in alchemist's tools at all?
Nope.
If you intend,
Um,
nope.
I have herbalism and cooking supplies.
Are you trying to investigate the recipes or any of the writings inside of it at all further?
Well, here I'll sit down and open it next to Reed. Tell me, Reed, is this to be? Well, is this a study of alchemy or is this a study of written language?
It is.
All right. Then I will start, Fel, with a study of written language as we ease our way through sentences.
Why are all of them the same? Too many patterns.
All of the letters?
There could be so many more parts.
I suppose it is this way for efficiency, on behalf of the writer.
Right. You can go ahead and both give me intelligence checks.
Twenty.
Read. You note mostly from the drawings. There are sketches, quite good sketches, in a very good hand. In your time in Killarney especially, you know all of the herbs of the woods, the berries, the ferns, the hedges, the moss. And that's what you base these recipes on more so than any of the writing describing the ingredients. Like any chef, if you see the ingredients, you can roughly give a sense of how it's cooked, what it's supposed to taste like, and eventually how it's supposed to be served without looking at most of the recipe. So you have a good general understanding of some potential recipes you might try in the future. Fenton.
So, I like to imagine that it starts off Fenton has control over the book. By the end of it, Reed is just tearing through it, going back and forward.
Fenton. The recipes have somewhat more of an eerie revelation as you continue to flip through the pages. Very much like House of Leaves-esque puzzle. You can see through acrostics, through strangely capitalized, italicized words, more messages being played out in the hand of this Mutison. A lot of it has to deal with questions why he was one of the few ones chosen for a task he does not feel up to. Why he's spending all this time making these sketches knowing it is just, meaningless for someone who could live forever. Recipes that focus on curing an ability to drink blood or some other sustenance. Most of these have to do with curing hunger pains, since he alludes to being unable to bring himself to sustain himself the way he needs. It's sad at some point that a lot of these writings begin to focus on novel ways, new poisons, new methods of killing something permanently, utterly. What's scary is a little number written instead of pages on this book. There are tick marks. Appears to be letters. Well, not letters, but an indication or a count. It starts at a dozen, and by the end of the book, it has gone down to 6. Not quite. Doesn't have any indication of what it means, but you probably can think of one.
That damn number. Well, there's our lore drop.
By the time Fel takes the book from me. By the time Reed has taken the book from me, I have observed enough of this to just kind of contemplate in silence. Well, perhaps that is enough for one night, Reed.
Yes, you do sleep.
I do, regrettably.
Then go and I will watch.
Will you watch from in this room or blindfolded outside of it? You can keep the book for tonight.
Fine. But you must watch.
For a time, I will watch.
And I will commit some of the things I can learn to memory.
I'll let you know what potions you learn the recipes of soon. But it is 11. I'm happy to continue for a little bit if
Yes.
that's to be would
I'm
like,
also
but
down to continue.
I'm also aware it is late and a weeknight, so
I will require a 5-minute restroom break.
sure, you could take a 5-minute
But I
break.
am up to continue afterwards.
I'm absolutely down to continue.
Next
3 of you.
arc.
I'm good. Sorry, I thought I had answered and I was just waiting on the other two.
Yeah.
Probably not more than an hour.
Everyone is kind of low energy today.
Yeah, I can go for another hour.
All right,
Yes!
I'll be right back.
Hello, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hooray!
You're allowed to say no. That's fine too.
No, you're not. Chain standing behind you with a dagger at your back.
Well,
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Don't make us take away the excellent Corvid sticker.
I am the excellent
Corvid.
Corvid. Now! I am excellent, Corvid.
Not if you stab Lorenz in the back.
Not stabbing him, just threatening him. It's different.
No
Yeah.
threatening friends, Chain.
Your friendships are weird.
Do you want to see what a real Ignan friendship looks like?
Absolutely fucking not. Keep that circle away from me.
So I had to go look at the race document again to check. Since hitting level 5, I have been able to cast heat metal and did not realize it.
Good job. Big brain. Lizard brain. Very big. Not many wrinkles.
I don't think that the Whistler had much metal on them,
Yes, many much.
and I
metal.
don't think the Blade of Disaster counts as metal.
I mean, he had that lantern. That was metal.
Yeah, let me take the lantern and light it on fire.
You make the metal hot, you silly.
I mean, that's his spellcasting focus, right? Doesn't that do some sort of disruption to a spellcaster if they're forced to release it?
We'll never know.
Well, serious question for future consideration. Like, if there's a wizard attacking us and they're using a metal staff, and they drop it, can they still cast spells outside of cantrips?
If it's not their arcane focus, then.
And the arcane focus it just replaces material components for most things, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so it just limits their capabilities.
Now, here's the real question. Metallic Dragonborn, right?
No.
But the
Damn.
bronze
Worth a
dragon
shot.
himself,
No.
right?
Worth a shot.
The bronze dragon himself, maybe.
It
Heat
was
metal
worth
on
a
the bronze
shot.
dragon that only wakes up if his blood is turned to liquid.
Yes, it was the statement, blood boiling rage, that kind of. It's like, oh, that's an idea.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, we need to wake up this dragon. Does anybody know how? Foshkra. Yes.
Folks were responding like a Dora the Explorer episode.
Do you see the dragon? Where? Fucking standing right in front of it.
I return. I heard
Welcome
circle.
back.
Circle?
We were talking about the smooth brain of the lizard. No ridges or lumps, no valleys or bumps.
I love that
Wow.
audio so
That's
much.
a great thing to return to.
All
Even
right.
even Leora's bullying the lizard.
Is everyone back?
Aye,
Yes.
aye, Captain.
Well, is Lore here?
I am in fact here.
Then yes.
Are you good to continue?
I am good.
All right. Then we shall. Now that you've settled into your rooms, it's about 2 hours until the exorcism should take place. What is the plan? What are you doing? It's okay to just wait around.
You go, Fushkra.
I'll say, Foshkra doesn't actually go to a room. He kind of stays out on the balcony.
Hmm.
Just not really wanting to be indoors, and has decided to just stay awake until midnight. So when the time comes, he can wake everybody up at the very least if they had decided to lay down themselves.
Fair enough. Shane?
Chain is going to settle into his room and try and start the process that the paladin at the front desk has talked about to try and purge Beldane's influence. And since his psionic blades are like a good visual reference, but knowing that like using like the true psionic blade it's usually meant to be like a fleeting thing, he's going to dig in his bag and pull out the bladeless dagger hilt that he had used for training and use that to try and keep like a prolonged psionic blade up, so he can kind of like check on that every now and then as he tries to kind of look inward and try and purge himself of Beldane's influence.
Go ahead and give me a charisma check.
Just a flat charisma check.
Yes.
Oof.
The psionic dagger extends from your hands, and you can see that kind of like sickly vines wrapping around the blue, still chains of purple close in on it. Trying to force yourself out of hatred doesn't seem to work very well. It's frustrating, it's strange, it's agonizing, and it just continues to shift more purple.
I think seeing it
It's a
start
difficult
to
thing to rush.
I think seeing it start to shift more purple, he's going to panic and stop. And instead try and distract himself by fidgeting with the with Donnie's arm again.
It's an easy enough distraction on the mind. I'll let you roll another check after you take a proper full long rest.
That is quite fair. That is
Alright.
all Chain's doing until the exorcism.
2 hours pass. And soon you can hear some commotion. There's some motion of light as torches are being carried down some spiral staircase in sort of the back corner of this small courtyard. Are any of you joining, if any?
Do I see Mauve heading that way?
Yes, you could see Mauve sort of pick her head up. She was sort of nodding, arms crossed, leaning against a tree, and then rapidly follows the procession.
Pushkar will make a quick round to the rooms and just like knock on the door. I believe it is starting.
Chain will definitely go.
Good.
Lorenz will follow.
As will Leora.
As will Fenton.
All right.
As will blind read.
Pushkar guides Reed with a hand on his scruff.
Ah,
Seeing eye lizard.
tell me when we reach a circle.
Service lizard.
It could be a.
Hey,
Got both of them.
Let me see. Oh, there's. Come on. Come on, Craig. Do your job.
Come on, Craig.
Come on, Craig.
Program.
Craig is EP.
Craig, it is not time for eep, it is time for game.
There it is.
The Aarakocra you see leading down into what appears to be a large ritual chamber. The main fixture of which is in the center of a room, a sort of raised pedestal in which a large flame is heating what appear to be branding irons of some kind, multiple different of them. The floor of it contains several hooks around which are looped multiple sort of irons that sort of snake towards the thin figure of Agrax kneeling in front of this brazier. Nervously, you can see his eyes darting left and right, sort of thin, angular snout, reflecting all the light of the fire. Numerous Aarakocra, all dressed in those priestly attires, attend braziers along the side of this room, despite being underground, despite being cavernous. It is very brightly lit, unusually so for what you would expect of a ritual chamber, essentially. The more interesting figure would be the tall, hunched, uh, burly figure, very calmly and with purpose striding towards the staircase leading up to the center pyre. I'll send an image of her.
Ooh, picture NPC.
Yes. Uh, 6.5 feet in height. The back of her silhouette is quite massive. She's very much so a muscular bruiser paladin. You can see her armor is elegant, very well crafted, symmetrical, quite perfect, reflecting light, almost like a mirror. Her hands clutch around a maul that's about 7 feet in height, very much so, probably larger than what you'd expect for a polearm of that size, but she uses it like a walking stick, and you can hear it boom against the ground with each 2 steps she makes. One side of her face has been stripped of scale, as you can see the red, pink musculature, web of scars underneath. The right side of her face is covered in bronze scales. You can see only one of her 2 horns remains intact. You could see teeth grinning through the lack of skin she has on the ruined side. She contains an eye patch wrapped around her face, but embedded within is a socket of some kind. You can see there's a gap. There appears to be something where the eye socket was, a sort of golden bronze glow. Where is the stone? Oh, Foshker has it, yes?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
When you enter this room, Foshker, you can feel the stone you're carrying vibrate. Leora, you can feel the stone you carry in your staff vibrate as well, kind of like a tingling sensation as if your muscles are falling asleep. And only when both of you do does she stop, very briefly turn around, and uh, with one hand she just rests it on her eye patch. The look she gives you is very much indicative of, I see you.
Oh shit.
And then she turns and continues walking up this pedestal.
That's something
Still,
that's inside the eye patch.
with every 2 steps, her halberd slams across the ground. Not halberd, a maul. The chanting begins in Avian, very much so a priestly chant. Those of you who understand Avian, which would be Chain and Fenton, you can hear glimpses of archaic words in old languages or old iterations of Avian used for casting clerical spells to Kvara. You hear a lot of burn, purge, consume, flames. The chains, the hooks around the edge of this pylon begin to twist and curl in. The limbs of Agarax begin to be extended, and you can see this dragonborn place her maul, the head of it, on the center pyre, which is now roared in flames. You can see the Arakokra, their chants seem to be increasing the heat and warmth of this central flame, giving a sort of golden hue to it. The chanting stops when the dragonborn leans down as if to inspect Agarax, muttering some things to him, asking questions. Then she begins to chant. This is a different one. It is harsh, acerbic, um, cutting to the core, even though you're not listening to it. It's as if when she speaks, she's cleansing you of all of who you are, separating your core components out for her to investigate one by one, turn over, see who you are, see through you, see what you are, everything that makes you. It's an unnerving experience just to listen to. Just her voice. You can see Agarax quite in pain. It doesn't quite scream, but grits his teeth. Chains rattle. The Dragonborn takes them all, and you can see it's searing red hot at this point, and presses it to his back. That's when the screaming starts. It is painful. You can see smoke singe into the air. The black of his scales turn into the black ash of them as she keeps on pressing in, muttering, muttering, muttering. The torchlight flickers. The paladins briefly stop their chanting. Something seems to be occurring, but the screams of Agarax turn into something different, something eldritch arcane, what he was casting with back then. And I would like all of you to roll a Constitution saving throw for what happens next.
Oh,
I will
boy.
say that as Chain watches, like, Agaric basically getting like branded by this mall, he flinches and like winces,
no.
What? Oh no.
and he like tightly grabs Fenton and Leora's arms. Oof.
Leora would put her hand on top of Chain's and just comfortingly hold his arm.
Okay, let's see how Lorenz continues the campaign without us.
No, I can't do this without you.
You're
It's
the main
okay.
character
Have
all
a new-
along, Laura.
You'll have a new cast of characters to join you.
Lorenz, that's the nice thing you said to me.
Swirling dark energy begins to exude from Agarax, kind of like a smoke screen, but you can see it whirl whip. The black fog that so inhabits the city of Turisaz expels from him, from his mouth, from the open wound in his back now. The scintillating images that you can see, these dark, twisting shadows that emerge roughly in a circle, are of a veiled figure. You can't quite tell the size of it, but there is a thing underneath black robes, black cowls, that the spirit emerges, and you can see a twist, rattle in the air, scream, yell, and then shriek. It inhales as if drawing all of this stuff in, all of this pain, all of this madness, and expels it in one shriek. Reed, you're the only one who would remember it back when the falling of Klani occurred. It's not to that level, of course.
I'm sorry.
But you only hear it for a split second before this paladin punches Agarax right in the snout, knocking him out cold,
Oh,
and it fades. But in that half second, it's less of a certain thing, but Lorenz, you're the only one who's able to maintain their breath from this banshee's wail. The rest of you stagger as if the weight of ages has been pressed on you. Your bones feel weak, fragile. Your muscles ache. Vision clots, goes blind. It's easy enough to recover from, but it's unpleasant, leaves you aching and reeling. The paladin turns towards the Arakakra, and you can see Fenton, the paladin you spoke to. They seem to engage in conversation, and you can hear the words of this dragonborn cut above everything else, and says, "And he is a problem. What do you intend to do about him?" The response, and she snaps at him, "And that's not enough." "Fine. If you won't allow me to end this problem before it begins, and there's nothing I can do about it here. You've called me here, failed to allow me to exert my judgment, and now you wish to kick me out because you're unsatisfied with the necessary conclusions I have come to. Fine. It will be your problem to deal with then. In the end." She turns and glances towards you two, Toshka and Leora. Grabs her maul, still smoking, still red, and walks near. She gets within a few paces, places the maul down kind of like a walking stick, and leans into an elegant bow. And straightens her back, very much pristine in her motions, perfect, precise. "And to what fortune do I have to meet you here?"
Under the request of a traveling companion.
"Is he the one?"
One of them.
"He is a danger to us all. What do you suggest I do in your perfect world?" "Should you kill him if he is going to kill so many others who would not deserve it? It would be a mercy to him and them. Or should you follow these paladins and let them do what they will in their own blinded self-righteousness? I'm asking you a question."
I do not know him well. What I do know is he is young and he is scared.
Both excuses that the weak-hearted allow to interfere their judgment with. You do not frame a tragedy in what caused it. You look at what it caused and how much suffering and pain that it produced. Look at him now. Was it worth it? He will bear the scars of branding for life. He will hurt. He will be in pain. He will suffer. And what to show for it? The fact that he made a bargain with something out of his control. He is arrogant. But yes, young and naive.
Do you weigh the same of history as you weigh his actions, the actions of one of youth? Fear.
Ignan, I have seen more of history than you will ever understand. How old do you think I am?
Then you perhaps know what I am thinking about when you say such things.
I know you to be thinking. Of what? That is not what I judge. Where did you get the stone that you now carry? And you? She glances towards Leora. If he is reluctant to answer, perhaps we will be more courteous.
She would look at Foshka before returning the gaze of the Dragonborn and just say it was a gift, an important one.
By whom?
Why does it matter?
It matters to me. Now answer. What is stopping you? How do you think you have done a wrong? Do you think you have misspoken your words? You should have nothing to fear.
I only wish to keep them safe by keeping them removed.
From whom?
Everything.
Do you believe yourself capable of entrusting them to you, to yourself? Do you know what that power means? Do you
Not,
think you are better than everybody else who has touched them? These stones?
not at all.
Then why do you keep them from others? Are you that selfish?
If that is the way you choose to see me.
I do not choose how to see you, I simply see you. The rest of you, why do you follow these two?
Can I do an insight check to kind of see what kind of her vibe is with in relation to the stones? Like, is she asking to use the information against us, or that she wants the stones that we have, or what's going on with
Go
that?
ahead and roll me an insight check.
That is a 10.
She is a paladin. She is doing an inquisition. She is simply asking questions. Guided towards a certain goal, yes, but you don't quite glean what that goal is.
And what of your stone? You ask us questions.
I utilize it to my means. That is what anybody does, but I know my means. I
And
know
where
my
did
goal.
you get it?
Me?
How?
I found it. I took it off individuals who intended to use it for their own purposes. Me, well, if you know anything about the god I serve, it is that objects of magical prominence are to be destroyed systematically. But
Can we
only if they are used in inappropriate means. Magic can be good, yes. But as soon as it toes the line over abusing it for ill-gotten means or arrogant pursuits, that is when I become your problem.
Can we see the stone?
Yes, it's glowing quite well inside the socket in her eye.
What color
And it's
is
not
it?
familiar to us,
No,
to any of us.
it is bronze. It is not familiar, no. If you want to know, I butchered a few red cows for it. They are, after all, criminals, most of them. Past, future, and present.
Is this an A Nubian inquisitor.
Do you mean Marin?
You sound like one.
I... There were individuals that Marin knighted before he became a god. I was one of them.
Forgive me, my eyes are not all the way here right now. That sound, that memory. Do you know where that sound comes from?
Do you mean the glimpse of what Agarax has bound himself to?
Yes.
Another testament to the arrogance of arcanists. The woman in the tower.
Yes.
She is called the Dread Witch for a reason. Fear is her dominion. She knows how to induce it others like nobody else.
A name. If it has a name, it can die.
Sazala Eselama. You can see some of the paladins around give hateful glances towards it. Not at her, but at the name itself. You can see it has caused visible commotion. It's kind of like a he who must not be named scenario.
That snake.
Yes, the source of the blight on this world. I see you've made an enemy of her, yes? Good. Keep that enemy. It is a righteous one to have.
Is it safe to speak of the stones here?
Insofar as I am to destroy them at some point in time. Yes. Speak of them freely. Do you know how many hands they have passed through? Just to reach yours.
And some fall fresh anew.
Yes.
Well, why this cycle? Is it being stopped? Is it being continued?
She gives you a very, very, very hard look. I am determined there is, and if there is, I am to find it. But I will do so within the confines of my tenets. Otherwise, I would have started swinging long, long ago.
I know your type.
Yes. I don't mind being known. Consider it a warning.
How much pain the chains must be.
He glances at Agarax. Perhaps a little more. But no matter. Mind
Is he,
yourselves. So go ahead.
is he free of the thing he wished to be free of?
No, he never will be.
Then what was all the pain for in the end?
Ask that question of the world. If one cannot make attempts, what is pain ever for? Endure, in enduring grow strong.
Boom, title dropped. Pain is a lesson.
That is a
Not
lesson.
always.
Goodbye then. I will be watching. Make sure that you... How do I phrase it? Exercise your newfound abilities with caution. I have given up hope in many ways, but I am open to my mind being changed.
Giving up hope in what?
That this cycle won't continue again.
Mhm.
New people, new hands. Try to make something out of your lives. You'll note that I asked none of you for your names. I have known too many that have gotten their lives cut short. Forgive me if they are insignificant. My name is Half-Face. Not the god, but his champion. She gives another elegant bow, stands, and again, using her walking stick, or pardon me, using her maul as a walking stick, motions to leave. She walks as if she expects you to part the way to her. That kind of paladin.
Does she step on Reed?
Should probably push past him.
Oh, she does. She doesn't stop walking.
Well, shit, there goes my hit points.
She gives you a disdainful look as she kind of motions you aside with one arm.
To
More,
be fair, Reed can't see her.
well, do you think that matters to her?
No, I'm just saying, to be fair, Reed can't see her.
Logic left a long time ago.
She kind of gives a little look of disdain at the disgusting nature of Reed and just continues to walk.
Oh, disgusting. I got caught disgusting.
Is
And
the
she'll leave, and then I will say, "What's an odd Anubian?"
That was
wasn't
not an Anubian.
Oh,
Close enough.
How many Anubians have scales?
Fenton,
Reed.
do you know what stone that was?
I don't believe it was a Youngus. A Youngus ended up with a red cowl. But the stories I heard described it as pink. It's not impossible.
Can these stones change?
Seems that we know very little about them. Perhaps that is a question for Estelheim.
She seemed to know a lot about them, but I didn't think she might. I don't know if she was the right person to ask the questions to.
I doubt that she was, but she is at the very least a testament to there being answers out there.
She could have killed us.
Not impossible.
And yet, not long ago, we relieved a city of its queen.
What?
The Beholder.
Oh,
We will grow.
Foshker puts a hand on Lawrence's shoulder as it's mentioned.
We must grow.
it sounded like, from what you read and what she was saying, that if a stone is destroyed, it just comes back. So does that mean that Vilderavens had been destroyed?
You may ask.
If they come back,
highly doubt that Vilderaven will give us any sort of useful answer.
if they come back, and your goal is to keep them out of others' hands, would it not be better to just lock them away? Also, read that name. You said Snake. Was it the
Yes.
one from the tower?
Yes.
The crying snake is the one that tainted the land.
Yes. Took everything from everyone and made it into this.
We not meant to live that day.
I was not meant to live at all. You know how things work there. I was meat. You were meat.
And the jackal was surprised we even returned.
I was surprised. The cat sent a friend back for me.
Why?
Because it took me one act of rebellion to make myself important I could have been any other. No, I could have been any other slave to Teresa's. I chose to die fighting. Now, all of us, we are loose ends. And we must continue fighting, continue growing.
Alrighty. The Paladins at this point seem to be taking some of their viziers down. You can see Mauve with Agrax just kind of helping him up. The chains were released at this point, but he's still pretty shaken up.
Oh, I imagine. I'm surprised he's not in the fetal position right now.
Just barely. Basically being carried by Mauve, pretty much.
Fosher's gonna look over at Chain, and then kind of tilt his head over to Mauve and Agrax. And then walk over to them.
Chain will go with, but he's they're quite visibly shaken.
I will say, it is almost midnight, so I will be calling the session here.
Okay.
We can pick it up next time, but as always...
Tomorrow?
No.
I demand daily sessions!
I'll send out a message for when the next session will be, but thank
I'm
you for the
gonna
game.
stay.
Yeah.
Alright, I am stopping
Tomorrow
recording
is just